Ashley Forgren, a representative for Get Real 24, explains that 1 in 5 young adults who age out of the foster care system will become homeless within their first year. And by age 24, over 50% will be unemployed, often repeating the cycle of dysfunction, poverty, and homelessness. These are alarming statistics. And further, as we discussed in class, the lack of housing permanency often becomes a barrier for parents as well within the child welfare system. And although homelessness is not in itself illicit removal, a lack of housing often prohibits parents from maintaining or obtaining a job. On any given night in Fort Smith, Arkansas, around 70 to 80 men, women, and families are without shelter. Most of these individuals had suffered some sort of trauma, like illness, job loss, divorce, domestic violence, sexual assault, mental illness, etc. But they're not lazy and they're not lacking skills for employment. But they often do just need more than a shelter or a meal. They seek places to sleep, be it on the streets, in tents, cars, or in unsafe and uninhabitable locations. Many people do not seek help or entry to shelters due to restrictions such as pets, sobriety, or religion. But there's an organization here in Fort Smith that works diligently to serve the homeless population in our community, Hope Campus. I interviewed the executive director to learn more.
Morning, my name is Chris Juanidis, and I'm the executive director of the Hope Campus. Question number 1, what population does the Hope Campus serve? We primarily serve the homeless population and also the underserved population. So one of the unique aspects of the campus model is we are open to the public as well. You do not have to be quote unquote homeless in order to receive any of our services. So there's a fine definition there. Another question, what barriers are these individuals facing regarding housing permanency? There's lots of barriers for the homeless population in terms of housing. They usually have I'll say a colorful background, so sometimes they don't pass background checks. They might be felons, they might be sex offenders, they may have just been on the streets for entirely too long, so they don't really have a record of rental history, if you will. So it does make it harder for the homeless population to seek housing. How does Hope Campus seek to assist in overcoming these barriers? I like to say that we're kind of like a ground zero. We provide all Maslow's basics, food, shelter, water, but in addition to that, we have a Mercy Clinic is on site, so we can offer any medical advice and services. What else do we do here? We have a laundry facility, so we take care of 1 load of laundry a week for residents, 1 load of laundry a week for non-residents. That was a mouthful. We have different shared community partners come in, i.e. the Veterans VA Association, they will come in. So if we have any veterans currently staying with us, we will make sure that we introduce that veteran to the VA, and then, because a lot of times they have different housing options, right? We have a salon on site, so we offer free haircuts every couple weeks. We've partnered with UFAS nursing students, so they come through on their rotations and do wellness checks, et cetera, et cetera. Fort Smith Housing Authority is actually on site with us 5 days a week as well. So the minute a homeless individual shows up on site, and all we do is really get them introduced to Jenny with the Housing Authority, and we do the paperwork, and then it's usually just a waiting game. So it's usually a 6 to 9 month wait by the time you fill out the paperwork, by the time that they call your name, if you will, to say, we have your voucher ready to go. So. But in the meantime, Hope Campus will house you for those 6 months, so at least you're going to have a permanent roof over your head. What services have you seen to be the most beneficial? That's a pretty wide question. We have lots of different services that can benefit folks, whether it's housing, whether it's Mercy Clinic being on site. We also offer a mental health department, which we call Hope Cares, and it's a 5-week course, and it's strictly voluntary. And so we have just an educator, if you will, that teaches a class 5 days a week for the next 5 weeks. Actually, we just had our 5th graduation just on Friday, and so we take a week off, and then we restart up again next Monday. So. And how should the community engage? I would say we have lots of volunteer opportunities here on the campus, whether it's preparing and cooking and serving a meal in our kitchen. Maybe you like to do hair, you can come in and volunteer and be a hairstylist for us. and you're good at budgeting, marketing, stuff like that, I mean, I could even use you in marketing aspects, writing letters, help me design forms and letters to write to the community, and ask letters, as I refer to them, for fundraising and donations. Or if you would rather get involved with the resident themselves, that's always an option as well. So